vanhu they are quick to move vasingaone maevents ari kuitika muzimbabwe because varasa maevents ese from general vari kuheroes vachitaura kuti kudya kwemhunu to this guy achiuya geza kuzotaura nhau yezvigananda to now anatagwire vachipinzwa mupolitical map ana general vachidzoka nhasi vachitaura zvavari kutaura kuti it's inevitable. General havasi mwana mudiki wekuti anazvitaura kuti is inevitable achiziva kuti hapana zviri kuitika. He knows exactly what is happening and he knows kuti Mnangagwa what is he up to. Mnangagwa knows exactly kuti munhu asiri kuda chaiye ndi general kuti apinde paipai because akavhiringidzana kudaro. So now vanhu anenge anatagwire ava havana political capital, havana
Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, and today we are back again with the issue Tagwirei, the man of the moment. The man of the moment, Mr. Tagwirei. Mr. Tagwirei is doing his thing. He's doing his thing. He was on the podium yesterday and he was dropping them names and he was pushing back against those that say he's a corrupt person, he's a this, he's a thief, he's a what, he's a this, he's a corrupt person, he's a thief, he's a corrupt person, he's a thief, he's a corrupt person. So he was like pushing back, proper pushing back. So, but what was quite, interesting, why, I selected, that bit was on what he particularly said pertaining to the issue yema yekuti one among corrupt. He pushed back on that. He said I am not a corrupt individual. I never know what you're talking about when you say I'm corrupt. I never know what you're talking about. And then agataura kuti people that that go against the tenderpreneurs, they surprise him quite a lot. Actually, those people are foolish. I just said, I just said you are a fool, for the sake of X. Because X, it gives us, X, to count dira, my letters, kunyora. Kutange stepmother kaundira muguru inonzi chitsanga dzechibage. Right, but yes, so his statement, he has invited reactions from different people. Yesterday, we spoke about him, and I think it was Magneto who came in, sort of gave us a background of who he is, how he started in his businesses, etc. Say that this guy has never started a business from scratch. Everything that has happened to him, he has been given. Everything has just been handed to him. But there is a response that was quite interesting, which I thought, let me see if I can, get my hands on it, which I thought was quite insightful. It came from, what's his name? I think, okay, it came from, I think it's Tinashe. Let me see. No. Right. Let me see. Come on. Don't do me like this. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me see if it is this individual. But when I read that, I found it to be quite interesting. He was talking about My computer is being slow today. Oh yes. I saw it. I've seen it. Right. So this is what he said. Tinashe, he goes by the name Baba Nyenyezi. The guy who does his Friday thing. His drinks on Friday thing. He says, Kudata Gray comments on entrepreneurship miss the nuance and intelligence of a national leader he is shaping himself to be. Command Agriculture never went to tender, but he got it. The treasury bills he was given were never meant to be traded. In fact, it was pension fund and depositors' money that funded Command Agriculture. You remember the 3 billion that went down the drain came from the pension funds. Your father's pension, my father's pension, your mother's pension, my mother's pension, the fund. They raided that. Savings from the same people he now calls foolish. He says, if you're not a tenderpreneur, you're foolish. Savings which were lost to hyperinflation caused by the government. He then goes on, I don't understand political leadership that mocks distance from political office. By its very nature and definition, proximity and access to political office is limited to a few. Because he's saying that, if you are not a tenderpreneur, you are foolish. But Wikino Chivaro is on record saying, akazvibata kuti G. Matenders ese, ku army, ku GMB, kupi, akazvibata zvese izvozvo kuti G. And as far as I am concerned about government tenders, he is the one who's got access to them. He's probably the only one who's got access to these government tenders. So when this SDA guy comes and says those who are not tenderpreneurs are foolish, he's expecting everybody to be a tenderpreneur. And this is a guy who was being said that he's being groomed to be a leader. That is total BS, guys. Shikanzi, by its very nature and definition, proximity and access to political office is limited to a few. Yet it is ordinary business people and traders without political access who drive the economy. Right? It's displaced Zimbabweans in the diaspora that send US 200 million a month back home that fuels our economy. And yet these Ugandandas, they are busy out there mocking the people. They are close to the system. And they use their close proximity to take advantage of the system, to plunder the system, to have access to these tenders, some of them which are awarded fraudulently. And he has the audacity to go before the people of Zimbabwe and call them fools.
If you are not a tenderpreneur, you are foolish. If you are not a tenderpreneur, you are foolish. There is the
biggest buyer or seller in this country is government. So if you do not want...
And then he goes on to say Elon Musk is a tenderpreneur. Come on. This guy. It's better this guy. Na Elon Musk in terms of being an inventor. Elon Musk is an inventor. The man who makes things happen. The man who gave us PayPal. And by the way, he sent me money via PayPal. More than Simbara Elon Musk. Just send me money via PayPal. You see the power of Elon Musk. And yet this Gananda was just given things on a silver platter. Wants to masquerade as an individual who knows it all. And he has the audacity to grab the mic. He's calling Zimbabweans who have got no access, who have got no close proximity to this establishment foolish. And those that were hearing were even ululating, and yet they are far away from the system as well. They are far away from this system. I am now 42. I am praying for a house. One of my prayer points is to have a house. As I'm going to care, Matea, Eshigananda. And those are the people that will be ululating and clapping, their hands. F off, man. A tenderpreneur, a person who uses their political connections to secure government contracts for personal advantage, for personal benefits. And this guy says, I am not corrupt. He says, I am not corrupt. The only people who are corrupt, Tendai Beach and Sefa Kasuku, and it's the most corrupt people that he has come across. Mr. Corruption is calling himself not corrupt. Yet corruption is his middle name. Come on.
We all know that man does not fall from the heavens like manna. That is because it's out of the real business are built through hard work.
Real business is built through hard work and discipline. But in his mind, real business is built through tenderpreneuring. Licking the behinds of those in power. That's how you can only be a tenderpreneur. I mean, that's how we can make money. Because that is the definition of that South African coin term. You lick others behind, those in government, for you to get ahead. But how many people have got that? How many people are close? Have got that opportunity? Have got that close proximity? Is this how a country should be running? Is this how millionaires should be made in a country? kana hiyo government yacho ikundizo is the number one or buyer or whatever, government yacho mari yacho iri kuiwana kupi? You are giving away tenders kune vanhu who are not even producing anything. You keep on pumping money, to this, people. But they always say our revenue base is small. So where is this coming from? Where is the money coming from? Your revenue base is small. But you keep on pumping, this money into the hands of these a few people. And this fool has got, the audacity to come before the Zimbabweans and say, if you are not a tenderpreneur, you are a foolish person. I know wrong. If you are not a tenderpreneur, you are foolish. And they're all only letting in there. Some of them, they don't even have anything that can qualify them to be people who can apply for a tender and provide. But you are being told that if you are not a tenderpreneur, you are foolish. You are being told right there. Pamberi you are being told, and you are ululating, and yet you are the one who is being told. It's not nabasa nazo ezo ningizo matenda. Vitai gogo. Atombo kuda because atine nazo. This is nonsense. Pure nonsense times 3. If you are not a tenderpreneur, you are foolish. Yes. Right, Martin, what do you say?
I'm receiving for my jail.
Abana abarize malevo.
Data rangurenga uda uneza mazwano kandu I'm surviving from hand to mouth. Saka data ringe rumbondineta that's why ndiri kubatika pa space nguwa yakawanda.
Ko ndi ya graft arinazo dakamduro.
Richabuda zvaro but
ndingakamira ndika. Aiwa let us remain ninge hopeful. Azvinoita.
Zvakaoma izvi zvakoma. Mozati what these guys are doing varoda kuconverta economy yese yenyika into their hands. Muri kuona zvino marodzi matenda emarodzi avari kutora aya vachange vachibhadhara maybe for the next 20 years. Vachatora zvipatara, vachatora mabhini, vachatora masuweji, vachatora zvese voita ivo ndo vatove hurumende yacho. Vanhu vese vanenge vavashandi vavo. Zvavari kuita izvo zvizvika ndezvekuti mari dzinge dziuya mumaoko mavo nguva yese. Ende madues avo haasi mamwanya ema1 year kana emachi, mamwanya anenge ari emakore. And vari kutora ma-state institutes, mozati kutora maparacetamol. Because hatine zisco still ezvino vakaiuraya vakagadzira chavo chinogadzira simbi. Mamaini vese akatora vana Fred Rebecca Maini. And moza kuti contractor when that company yakacontract yakatora company from Arabic ndeyatagwei. That inonzi yaminononzi. And zvichirati macompany ese vachatora macontracts mamaini ese anenge ari avo. Zvese economy inenge yese iri yavo. Zimbabwe hachisina chayo. Saka zvakaoma vanhu iva the way yavari kutamba nayo yacho yakadooma. Hapana chinobuda. Nzewo wanzizvo vanhu tatobatana zveidi vozi takutoita vanhu vavo. Hai zvakaoma izvi. Hapana zvakaoma izvi. Zvakaoma izvi. Nyango kuchinzwa nzi kuri kuba kwacho kana kuri kwanzi utsinye hwacho nyango hwasatani chaicho kwaariko arikutosimudza maoko. Havana tsitsi vanhu ava. Chokwadi. Havana tsitsi. Pane pamwe pauti wanzi munhu apa wauti wanzi mari yandabai yakwana. But havagutsikani. ende vanobva vanyepera machechi. Unoona akaisa chibheji cheZCC ozomboisa chesabhata, uchazomuona akuisa chechipostori. Kwese anenge ariko. Vanhu vacho vane utsinye nevanhu chaivo. They take advantage kune vamwe vanhu vanenge mapostori ari pataiti, because vanoenda vachinoda kunamatirwa vachida kupora, vamwe vachida marachi. Vanobva vangotorwausa muzvisangano zvavo vonzi vatagwire vachitaura vamwana zvinonzisatsisa. Zvakaoma
Magwegwe.
Zvakaoma chaizvo.
Aiwa, ndinotenda Mukoma, thank you very much. Regai tinzwe kuti Mukoma champion vanotiwo chiine nyaya iyi.
Kuri sei neMupasha?
Tiri bowa mheno wamuriwo.
Tiri nani. Inini chandiri kufarira ndochokuti, and all of us we should listen carefully, because these guys, it's their time for them to expose themselves, and in this manner Tabure is busy exposing himself. One is not only stupid, but he is even ideologically bankrupt. How he becomes ideologically bankrupt? If you have listened to all his presentations, his presentation is about me, and Mnangagwa. Those are things that he is always speaking about. So here is coming out and try to say, Tendai Biti is corrupt. All right, let's say Tendai Biti is corrupt, like what you are saying. But who in this world becomes evaluator, who haven't done even evaluation in his life, who goes on to value 35%, which is a significant influence in a company, right? You have got a significant influence in a company of which you don't have even a control, because control begins at 50% and more. So now we have got someone who is telling himself, or he is telling us, that he is not corrupt, but he goes on to value 35% to become 1.9 billion, and he gets that money and moves away, and he comes to the people. He have got even the guts to speak like as if he's speaking using another point in the human body, which I cannot even mention. So in this way, Tabure is raising his fight, thinking that he can control the narrative, while he can't control anything. And this is the exposure that people should welcome, to say, okay, you are saying that if we don't have tenders, we are nothing, we are stupid, like what you say. But remember, for you to be a leader, to be even can I say a near leader, you need to be someone who have been voted. And the same people that you need to get a mandate are the people that you are right now spitting in their face, thinking that it's you who should be told, who should tell people what to do, right? So in this case, Tabure is not just exposing himself; he is exposing even his real principal, who is Mnangagwa. If you want to know how Mnangagwa thinks, listen to Tabure carefully. That is what people should look at and people talk about, to say, okay, this is Tabure speaking. He's not speaking on his behalf. He's speaking on behalf of Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is saying to all of you, he's just raising his middle finger, right? And do swearing like Americans do, right? I don't want to swear, but I'm just giving you what he's trying to do right now. He's doing that not as a result of not knowing that he has no power. His power is limited, right? What he thinks is that there's no one who is going to push back. Because according to him, what he's thinking is that, okay, M31 movement is gone, so now I am free. But he doesn't know that he is being trapped into gushing out gibberish for a moment, but the guys are coming back for him. They're coming for him. How are they going to come for him? Look, you can't be you can't plant maize and repeat in the same day. That is what Tabure is doing, and that is the only dangerous precedent that he is not thinking about. So this is a recipe for a disaster, and I know that people were not even thinking about it. Say no, it's not going to. I think I have said enough to say, guys, look, there is no longer anything that is called ZANU-PF. Right now, it's a criminal cabal. Right? Which milk through tenders, which milk the state through whatever. So that arrogance and that pride is not coming from anyone else. That's why you heard that Mnangagwa is telling you that I am Mutapa. He's not even related to Mutapa. He's not Mbuyaneanda. But what does he do? He put a statue in town, right? That statue is being guarded. Why is it being guarded? Because they know what they have put there. So this is the kind of a person that we are dealing with. We are not dealing with Tabure. Tabure is just being used as a conduit of who Mnangagwa is. Right? So it is time for all of us to understand that these statements are not coming from Tabure. They are coming from Mnangagwa himself. Because at one point, these people, they sit together, talk, and he is just speaking what Mnangagwa should have spoken from the word go, because Mnangagwa is saying, he's not even saying this to opposition parties, he's even saying this to people who are in ZANU-PF.
Yeah.
Those ones who are on the negative side, the wrong basket, as according to Mugabe, they should know that what Mnangagwa is speaking about is speaking about you who are in the wrong basket or wrong faction. To say arikuza kuti mai vako, but iwewe unobva wachuza kuti no, ndi Dr. Tabure, ndi Dr. corruption. Corruption yana madoctorates here naye vakomana.
Pakaipa.
Kana corruption inawo madoctorates. You call this a person called Tabure. I don't want to call him names, but I just want to say people should be watchful. This is, I know that Mnangagwa, because of his insecurities, he thinks putting Tabure there, like what I've said yesterday, to say this guy is putting a Tabure there because he's saying Tabure be my administrator of my insecurities, to make sure or to ensure that I am not going to suffer from any insecurity, because at one point my health can be a disaster. So ndiwe uchazobasara pavana, right? People should understand this kuti Tabure ari kuda kuitwa sara pavana naMnangagwa through illegitimate and even unjust means. So it is time for people to think, what can we think about? I'm not even prescribing any action to say, no, do this, no. You have to think what you think, because waita chigananda chiri kukudza kuti futseke. Waita chigananda chiri kukudza kuti mai vako. Waita chigananda chiri kukudza kuti hauna zvaunondiita. So this is the time for everyone to know that ndo zvavanga vakavanza panguva yapera. Ndo zvinhu zvavanotaurirana kumba kwavo. Ndo zvinhu zvavanotaurirana vari vega kuti iwe usada kupusa iwewe. Tarisa ndakakupa macompanies, ndakakupa chi. Everything, all these companies that people are thinking about, but no, nditabure, asi Tabure ndi Mnangagwa. Chigananda chikuru chezvikuru zvezvigananda ndi Mnangagwa. Ndo uri kuitisa zvose izvi. The reason why asingadi kupa General Chiwenga, ari kuhla kuti Chiwenga is more of a person anofungira vamwe, anoita sokufungira vamwe here and there. Saka hasi kumuda munhu iye arikuziva kuti there is retribution that is going to come as a result of Chiwenga coming into power, and all his family will lose everything. Because remember, and I want people to know this today, muri kuona here kuti chinoita kuti Mary asafiswe inyaya yekuti Mary anoziva munhu wega wega ari muZANU-PF ari linked to Mnangagwa and others vaikainvesta mari muDubai nema-accounts anoaziva, because ndiye munhu waibhukira vanhu anga ane travel agents achibhukira vanhu vese ava, even kuvhurira ma-accounts kunze kwenyika kuna naDubai. The reason unoona Mary achiitwa zvaari kuitwa izvi haisinya ari kunzi Mary ngaafe nokuti une information yakawandisa yokuti kana information iyo ikabuda vamwe akuzhiri nopisa.
Ya vakaipa haiwa tinotenda tezvayo. Regai tinzwe kuti vamwe vanotochi but meno kutizo mainzwawo statement but they are now trying to save face. Ndaona anonzani uyu cash vist uyu kudzaimutis hanzi the statement wasn't uttered. He was responding to blah B, but a tenderpreneur according to chat GPT is a term especially popular in South Africa. Discourse that combines tender and entrepreneur to describe someone often politically connected who leverages their influence to win government contracts using inflated prices. But he then responded to say this statement wasn't uttered by Chat GPT, neither was it made in South Africa. It was made in Zimbabwe by Dr. Tagwire. What is he even saying? He made it clear what he meant using very simple language. It doesn't need any sophisticated research to understand it. Anyone getting a government tender is harassed and labeled a tenderpreneur by Zimbabweans. Those labels are made in negative light, potentially discouraging young people from applying for tenders. His usage was in a positive light. He was encouraging young people to participate without fear of being bastardized by idlers who have never applied for a tender. All in all, we are happy by the vibrant debate. Those who are smart will get the message and take action. Ex-vists will continue doing their thing. Saka atofunga kuti atori smart nerubbish yanyora ipapo. Tatenda come through.
Sorry to say this. Nasi nyayotaura neshona. ZANU-PF yakazara madufu man. That's why also Zimbabwe we are poor, because our education is not education to equip us to think in a more practical way. We are pragmatic. Ndosaka nyika yedu iriyo iri kuzasi even alphabetical order yema countries. That's why you see even everywhere where you go, majority of people who are doing those menial jobs, whether in diaspora or where, are Zimbabweans, because we have been programmed in a certain way whereby we appreciate foolishness, we tolerate lies and make them look as if those are the actual realities, when we know that Chakaitoma robots, the system Mugabe, it created fools instead of educated people. That's why you see an auditorium full of over 5,000 people clap hands to a criminal who is telling them that they are fools. And himself, when he knows that he has monopoly over the tender system, he tells people that they are foolish. How can you get into tender business when you know that even tender reku supply machoko epachikoro chayo? How you might vanogona kunge vantori necontrol? So we are dealing with people very daft. Our country iri kuda a reboot. Anakudza MTC He's one of the most stupid people that you may think of.
CA.
Nezuro I responded kune imwe post yake yakanyora.
I musamukole names zvenyu.
All right, sorry to everyone. I responded to a post yakakomenta ndakamisira screenshot yakaiswa na Nick Mangwana before 2018 pavaitaura nezvekuarestwa kwawikine kuti wikine vamfanira kuarestwa. Even idp aitaura kuti wikine vamfanira kuarestwa. He could not respond once by someone should prove kuti Chiva is a criminal. Chiva is a certified criminal, same as Tagwirei. Tagwirei is only being saved by his close proximity to power. But I'm happy kuti 24 hours after or some hours after ataura nyaya yake tenderpreneurship, general who people think is idle or not active anymore, vataura kuti the time and day of reckoning is closer and nearer. Ende vanhu vanenge vachiziva na utano hwavo and matactics avo kuti somehow kune vachabatwa chete. Like I said kuti makaona kangoma kotanga kuririsa stereki zaiti padhuze nekuda kudambuka kangoma ikako, because for real they are pushing for tenderpreneurship. This tenderpreneurship yavo is more of wanting to privatize everything. They failed before. Vamwe vanhu vakauya vakatorana CSC vakatadza kuvashandisa. CSC ended up most of its deposits are now in the hands of Kaola. Varungu anoita zvebeef. When vanhu veZANU-PF vakahijeka vakatora makambani in ZANU-PF, the only tool that they know or the only skill that they are very, very good in inventing is being thieves. Vanoba, and they cannot use that money back to do what other progressive people who get tenders in their countries do. It's a common trait in Africa. Those who get tenders are to service maslay queens, their families, to flaunt money and boost. But where we are heading, I think 2-3 weeks ago, I posted an interview ya Nikki akaitwa pa Sly Media achitaura nyaya yekuti he is a proponent yekuti ZESA iprivatizwe, mvura iprivatizwe, and that is going to happen. And you know Nikki is a mouthpiece, the permanent secretary of information. What they speak is what they would have crafted. Same way nepakauya anonzani wemayutu uyu achitaura nyaya yesituation yekuparire nyatwa, then boom, vakuita something. So Zimbabwe, with the little that is there, more is going to be taken from people. That little that has been left in people vachaitora same way nekutorerwa kuri kuitwa vanhu mafarms who have been having farms. Zozonzonzi Billy Rautenberg akufanira kupiwa famu, akufanira kupiwa land yemafamu kuti iitwe maresidential area, because vari kuona kuti farming haina mari. Vakatengesa that land into commercial land $50 per square meter. That's a lot of money than kuti vanhu varime. Kurima kunomutorera nguva.
Right.
So in lending, Tagwirei ndiye Mnangagwa ari kuramba achikontinua kurakidza vanhu kuti vanhu vemuZimbabwe muri madofo, and there is nothing that you can do until you raise up and attack the status quo. Saka takaramba tichiomberera maoko madofo, tichitobva tarakidzawo udofo hwedu, ticharamba tiri nyika yemadofo tichibirwa nembavha. Thank you.
Right. In Botswana, this is what the president of Botswana said.
Some middle person. Cheating with the manufacturer, not some middle person. So tenderpreneurship must die, so that real entrepreneurship must emerge.
It must die.
Ndo leadership iyoyo angojedi. We have to have manufacturers and eliminate any source of enabling corruption. Entrepreneurship is the main driver of corruption and looting of my state funds. Bye.
And it right. The full message yataurwa na General Chiwenga, thanks to Mkoma Jealousy vaita transcribed verbatim. Vachiwenga vati, we must shun unscrupulous so-called business people operating from briefcases with no traceable capital or legitimate enterprise. This culture of phantom entrepreneurship, where money appears without any known source, is not only economically corrosive but ethically bankrupt. We all know that money does not fall from the heavens like manna. Real businesses are built through hard work, discipline, sacrifice, and value creation. The day of reckoning is inevitable for those who undermine our economic integrity by engaging in shadowy dealings. Let us not mortgage our nation's future to fleeting gain. Equally imperative to this shared national and developmental vision is our collective stance on integrity and accountability. As we deepen public-private partnership and catalyze economic growth, we must decisively shun corruption in all its forms. There can be no room for rent-seeking behaviors or muddy practices in a modern competitive economy. That was from the VP. So here you've got this one, preaching entrepreneurship. And the VP is preaching against that. What is going on in our country now in Zimbabwe?
Uncle Jets, many thanks. What do you say? Tiribo. Takaroiwa nakafa Uncle Jets. That's what's happening in our country because this is not new. You see, back and back in time, we had this. I mean, I just don't know where they get the audacity yekuti munhu yaotanga kutuka vanhu vane mari yauri kutora yosiri kumboshandira kana ka one time and that's how they treat us. And I don't know about ZANU-PF ini ndakatoimaka zvekudaro because aina dai uri kunzi uri kupiwa tender handiti
musamange bata
wagadzira maroad wagadzira road hatina the issue is not about getting a tender. The issue then goes beyond getting a tender and not doing what you are supposed to be doing to the right level.
Right.
To the right level. Because maenda muhospital mumanza tender yapiwa. Fine, okay. Saka chiunza yaka machine yacho tibva taiona. If wataura kuti atikunza 100 machine yobva yauya chakati zvobva zvauya. Hakuna kusingabiwe. This is the truth. Hakuna government isingabiwe wherever country you go to. But the issue inenge iripo ndeyekuti mukada kuba kusina chako ukaenda ku-UK mari dzinobiwa mascandals anoitika. But people don't see or don't seem to complain as much because they have got what they need. Akatada kuenda kuhospital anongoenda unorapwa onzi chakati akanzi akwire bhazi mabhazi ariko anoita zvakati. So kwedu kumusha uku I just struggle kuti why are we so docile as Zimbabweans kuti zvinhu zvakadai so zvinoitika and we just sit and watch. Even I'm including myself in that kuti what is it with us kuti tinoitwa mascandal esaya vanhu vachifamba vachipanana mari vachiita sei. And just recently just to veer off a little bit, I know someone who died because they could not afford an ambulance yekuti vatore mwana wavo anga ine breathing problem heart problem kuti auye kuparare nyatwa kubva kuzasi kunana dando and they decided kuunza mwana what arga timwena mbasi. And by the time they got to Harare, the child had died, right? And you then start thinking takaradzwa zvimapicture zvemaambulance panapa zvatisingazivi kuti zvakanyanya kupi zvemaambulance izvozvo kana kuti ufunge kuti so what is it you come, you show us a lot of buses but we don't see those buses. You show us helicopter what and all this but nothing really comes to fruition and we never question. And this is where I go kuti this is beyond opposition And I don't even know if this is now to the people, the masses. They have to take a stand with, guys, this is not enough. This is right. This is not right. Zvinhu zvinofana kutowana kutotsamwa zvokudaro kuti kumana takupinda murodhi isusu hatichamirire kuti gezauye atitaurire we don't want anyone. The same way people got up and went kuchimurenga, no one actually told some people kuti endai. Munhu akangofila ega kuti you know what, there's a certain air panapa, let's go. I was thinking as well kuti kumana pane zvimwe zvinhu zvinongoitika soka. Mugabe warned us about Mnangagwa. And I remember Mugabe achitadza kugara musha achisirwa zvimakushini kumashure nana jealousy nechichi. Akataura akati Mnangagwa, I know him. Akambodya mari yemafans. Hameno nyaya yakataurwa mafans party. Mari hameno zvaida kuitwa kupi patamushedza ndichimubvunza kuti koyo mari haufa but iye hanzi ndandoda kubhadhara fees achinyeba zvake. And ipapo we didn't think it through zvedu, but we know that this guy is not right. Haasi right, vari kuda plundering. And if you are plundering manje chinoitika ndechekuti iwewe unoda kuchita ngori mutsvene. Ana Tagwire ava ndo zvimamouthpiece zvambotaurwa zvezvo kuti vanonge vachitaura vachita sei. And we have to do something as Zimbabweans. Ndandiri kufunga ndakaona film Gladiator, Uncle Jedzi, the recent one. Vanhu vakaunganidzwa pasara mufana one anga ari king uya emperor whatever. Vati position number 2 ndakupa tsoko yangu. Vanhu vakaombera makazvokana mukazozvitarisisa izvozvo. Vanhu vakaombera vachifara because we are now questioning, handiti kuquestiona kuti why is it on a room auditorium vari kuomberera maoko. Iye munhu abuda ari muauditorium ari kuerenga maoko. Haana chainacho kumba kwake. You know, just to learn kuti people, I don't know what we need to do, but toda kumbofamba. I mean, Mukonzanjera, is he available? And I'm landing, Uncle James.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Ndaona vakasukuere vaisa inonzi I think it's a warning chaiyo kuti waakufarira ndizo waakufarisa. Haunongoona kuti zvavana nyika yedu izoga makwikwi. And a good fraudster is not necessarily a good politician. Trying to turn a thief into a leader is the ultimate betrayal of the Revolutionary Party by a recreational leader. The game has begun, and that rimming mouth would not be opened again. Mr. Moy, how are you, sir?
Uncle Jesus, you
do right.
Pakashata.
You
know what? This issue, it has been building up, and we are seeing how they are trying to make this particular individual sort of a runner for a project. Probably we can call it Project 2028 or Project 2030 or whatever you want to call it, but they are packaging him, and he's packaging himself in that direction. But the problem, like another speaker saying here, is munhu wacho wavari kuedza kupakeja hapatorina substance. It is all a fallacy of corruption, and what you are going to see even over time, ingori pressure towards pushing an agenda, but uchinatsoona kuti munhu wacho wavari kuisa paforefront is clueless. There is no substance whatsoever. The issue is kutaurwa whenever he stands in front of people to talk, there is absolutely no substance. So you then begin to wonder with where are we headed to? Kuda kumboedza kuti say. And this is what pains me the most now. Kuti we keep on clapping hands. We keep on watching, and this is, I think, this is our Zimbabwean problem now, because we keep watching, we keep posting, we keep seeing things happening, and we keep clapping our hands. If we don't clap our hands, we sort of give each other eyes to say was one erasure, and then we laugh about it. We are creating comedy about all these things. We are creating memes about these things, but we don't realize that we are creating comedy out of the future. And this is where it gets to me the most, because we see all this entrepreneurship being promoted and being elevated to a level where everybody now desires to have a connection so that they can get something, and so that they can loot as well. And no pani difference yedu nezviri kuitika kuKenya, no pani difference yedu nezviri kuitika in other countries, where we realize, where we should get to a point where we say, guys, we are tired, but what can we do? Because yes, we are tired, but are we tired enough? Because kana tichiri kuseka, kana tichiri kuenjoy, kana tichiri kungoona tiri kumaperipheries, tichiposta, tichikomenta, tichita say, without a plan of action, organized plan of action, maybe we are not tired enough. I don't know, because it's exciting. It's as if it's just big news or the new headline on the block. This is what Aguirre is doing, and this is what his proxies, and this is what he's advocating for. Did you see it? But really, are we tired enough as Zimbabweans, or should we just accept we have been defeated? Tatorowa 3-0 saka ndikoko. This is where my burden is. I wish at one point we realize, apart from making memes and making and getting comedy out of it and finding learned jargons to explain what is going on, when are we going to actually take action about it? I'll end here for now.
Andijika, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. And this is on a Brighton Mutebuka. Tagre is trying to be disingenuous. He is deliberately mischaracterizing the meaning of the term to confuse, confound, and misinform so that he can be absolved. He is also trying to shift norms via detoxifying it and shaping the narrative. Expect more of this in this window. Right. Lotus, do you want to come through?
Yes, Baba.
And the Murwana statement,
Yeah.
It's a good analysis. So this is where my issue is. If there was going to be a scale of Vanwane ability to analyze situation, Zimbabweans would be on number one. But tikazoita futi pa same scale ability to react, I'm not yet to number two.
Right, okay. Yeah, Bagaiba. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Ngoma
Baba.
Lucas,
Yes,
how you
Baba.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good, my brother.
Inendri farmer chirungu changu mondo nzwisisa. Akomana, where we are heading for is very bad. Akomana, there's too much tolerance, there's too much lenience in even ZANU PF, but where we are heading is bad. We are dying slowly. Vanhu vachiombera vachita sei people, vanhu vanotanga ku problem now vanhu vemachurch, and those people who think the church will do anything for us, that's really bad. Zvigananda zviri kuita zvazvinoda day and night, mari yenyika iri kungoenda, but what are we doing as people? Because what we lack right now is action. hapana chiri kuitika. We are just here, we are just there talking. Leadership chaichai yacho yatinototi ititungamirire, ndimi makutotungamirira muri kuita ma-X space. There's no one talking about it. They seem to be comfortable because what happens behind ana Samora Mashow, tinozviona tropinda Marare, vanhu vanoenda kuti ma-secret meeting because we don't have access to those places, vachipiwa mari, vachikushimwa, vachiitwa sei, and then they come up vachiuya nema-narratives akasiyana-siyana, but what are they doing behind? They're going against zvese zvavanenge vachitaura. Right now, I would love to encourage everyone kuti when the call comes, let's go in our numbers. This is so disheartening. This is so sad for everyone. Tine zvivana zvidiki zviri kukura, they don't know anything. Magetsi chaiwo zviri kunetsa. Apa mbatirwa nyaya kuti zvada kuprivatizwa. Where are we going? Mvura chaiwo 2025 we don't know tap water. Isakakurira mafarms. Tapinda mtauni macho hamuna, tadzokera kumapraza. We cannot even do anything. Zviri kunetsa. Where are we going?
But going nowhere too fast.
We are not going anywhere. And the post, I like this other guy. What's his name? America, Temba, who was asking Chicha Muruguita Mimi, especially the celebrities. Muruvarwa Muromo. You have the power to mobilize the people. You have the power when you talk. You have 100,000 people who follow you. But if we have 10 celebrities, that's 1 million. That's the power they have. But vari kuvarwa muromo, nothing is happening. Ivo vari kubva vaita fall for it because havasi kukwanisa kushanda. Tagwire is talking about entrepreneurship. If everybody gets involved in that, then anozova consumer we end product ndiani. Ndiani.
Let us all be entrepreneurs.
So then,
you must make the government buy your product.
And then it distributes to whom?
Huh?
It's not saying that could be the government buys our product and then what? What will happen?
And where's the government getting the money to buy everybody's product?
Yes, where are they getting
the
that money?
Government to buy product?
So right now, I think it's a bit tense, especially with the military. The speech that we got from General is not someone who is very predictable. It's not someone who speaks out a lot. He doesn't speak his mind. But I think when the call comes, guys, let's gather and go in our numbers. Some of us tutoring in danger with Dara, but let's go, guys. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
And thank you very much, my brother. I do appreciate it. Mkoma Jiri, do you want to come through? Mwisha Maswera.
Yeah, it's so sad. Mashoko andorwa nanoatakirei, considering not only kuti ari kupinda politics but the elder vekuchechi vanomira pamberi pevanhu vachitaura mashoko akadaro. Pane mamwe mashoko asingadi kutaurwa nemunhu, especially reputation yako kuchechi, not kupolitics, because politics haana chatingataure chinobatika paari. But anoya pamberi pevanhu achituka vanhu kudaro. I don't know kuti ada kuti 16 million people vari muZimbabwe vese vasubmite matenda kuti government yacho inowana kupi mari yekuzobhadhara vanhu vese vava kuti angojedhi vari kuita road, inini ndiri kuita mazvipatara, mumwe ari kuita inokwanisa here kuvabhadhara government yacho, haina mari yekubhadhara vanhu avo. So rhetoric speech dzake dzaanenge achipa dziya it's unfortunate kuti ndiri kunzwa wangu vanhu vari kunyanya kukriticize maZimbabweans kuti vanenge vachiombera. Those guys vanenge vachiombera vatori vanhu vanenge vari organized to do that. They are not just ordinary people vanenge vangonzi uyai vo attend. Those guys, they are paid to act and they are doing exactly that. They are acting. Kuita sekunge vanhu vaive vari kuwirirana naTagwirei, but they are paid. They do that for a purpose, for money. It's something chekutoti anatagwirei vasati vaenda pamberi pevanhu, they know kuti we need these people like 20-45 people vanozoombera patei chitaura. Vanotoziva vari kuvanhu vanotogarira ipapo vakatogara, like people like ana baba Shona vaive unovaona paX apo. Anything chinenge changotaurwa anongoombera, haana pfungwa dzake chete dzekuti ambofunga. Anenge atori corrupt kudhara mubrain dzake nenhau yekuti akapiwa mari. Kupiwa mari kwaunenge wakaita kunenge kuri kunyararidzwa, unenge wakanyararidzwa. So anything chinotaurwa naTagwirei becomes good, it becomes sweet. akangotaura zvese zvese autaura zvekuti tuka isusu kuti we are foolish, then we have to claim. Takasaombera chii chinoitika, vana vanofana nzara because they have cut every source of income there is in Zimbabwe so that they can control us, because it's easy kakukontrola munhu ane nzara, hakukontrole munhu ane mari yake. Totongozviona because politics idzi hadzina kutangira kugovernment, dzinotangira kubhawa. Unoziva kuti wakanoungana muri pakaungana vanhu muri kubhawa, kana usina mari ndio unotsvaga maice, kana usina mari ndio unobvisa mabhodhoro, kana usina mari ndio unosumukira vanhu vakauya kuzogara. And hauite nharo because ukangoda kuita nharo totonzi shamwari titenga doro rako wega, haukwanisi kuritenga. Ndo zviri kungoitwa ipapa, ndo politics dzinenge dzangodzoserwa kunana Mnangagwa. They know kuti Zimbabwe hamuna mari, vanhu vari muZimbabwe havana mari, so now we can say anything and anyhow tongotaura zvedu, which unfortunately for them vakamiscalculata mamoves avo, because like I said yesterday kuti nezvino ndofunga ndakazvitaura ndakati vanhu they are quick to move vasingaone maevents ari kuitika muZimbabwe, because ukatarisa maevents ese from general vari kuheroes vachitaura kuti kudya kwemhumi to this guy achiuya Geza kuzotaura nhau yezvigananda, to now anatagwire vachipinzwa mupolitical map, ana general vachidzoka nhasi vachitaura zvavari kutaura kuti it's inevitable. General havazi mwana mudiki wekuti anazvitaura kuti it's inevitable achiziva kuti hapana zviri kuitika. He knows exactly what is happening and he knows kuti Mnangagwa, what is he up to. Mnangagwa knows exactly kuti munhu asiri kuda chaiye ndi general kuti apinde paipai, because akavhiringidzana kudaro. So now vanhu anenge anatagwire ava havana political capital, havana character to lead people. Unongonzwa paanoshama muromo, anga akanyarara anga akavhara muromo wake aitwa nge munhu akachenjera chaizvo. Izvo zvaakutaura kutonyazonzwa kuti hapana kana nezviri, and hatina kana direction yatiri kuenda navanhu vakaita sevanhu. They are leaders, and ndokokumbira hangu vanhu vari muZimbabwe kuti munzwise chinhu one, kuti it's not like Zimbabweans are weak, it's not like Zimbabweans they can't fight, no, but Zimbabweans have been neutralized because we have people that we look up to as opposition. We have people that we look up to stand with us. Every war inoda leader. We cannot just go mustreet tongopinda kungomhanya without direction, or we cannot just individually plan to fight government without direction. These things need strategy, need action inenge iri planned, not individual. But unfortunately, kana shumba yakararama nehwai inodzimara yakuita sehwai, but iyo iri shumba inokanganwa kuziva kuti ndiri ani. But kana hwai yakararama neshumba inodzimara yakuita seshumba. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this most makatarisa Tsvangirai panga aripo. Tsvangirai was more of a mild, he was not cool, he was a mild leader. He was pro-violence and anti-violence at the same time. I remember when he spoke his words, if you don't want to go peacefully, we'll remove you violently. My words here as an opposition leader anotodiwa, because ukasatwataura they will step over you willy-nilly like they are doing now, because no one is threatening them, no one is standing against them, because hapana kana munhu wese anenge achingofunga vari kuopposition kwacho there vanenge vachingoti God knows, and God knows indeed, but kuti God knows akusolve equation inenge iripo. We need a leader who can come with shades, just like what Geza did. Unfortunately for Geza, it's not the people that let him down, it's the other leaders that let him down, because the other leaders at the 11th hour they threw Geza under the bus. We don't know him, we are not part of him. So that alone was nullified everything and neutralized everyone, because everyone was geared to fight ZANU-PF head-on the 31st of March. But people were not concerned about Geza, because some of the people in Zimbabwe, they stick to honor people, they honor individuals, not ideas. Because the problem with honoring ideas, with honoring individual, is that if that individual says something that is wrong, we are bound to clap, because you don't care whether it's wrong or not. It's him that you look up to. Some of us, we want ideas, we honor ideas. When your idea aligns with my idea, then I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are coming from. Politics is temporary. We don't have permanent situations in politics. Because if you want to make it permanent, then you are lost, because this is just 10 years or at most 15 years in politics. So if you want to make a permanent enemy in politics, how win? You have to strategize, seize opportunities. Whether it's an enemy that is bringing an opportunity, you have to embrace it. This is politics. So when Geza came on the 31st, you know the momentum was there. People were ready. But the other leaders, when Geza brought in the other leaders, they were not ready to stand with Geza. So what happened? Everything collapsed. I don't support Geza. I'm an anti-ZANU-PF. I hate ZANU-PF to the core. Anything that has to do with ZANU-PF, I hate. But anything that has to do with destroying ZANU-PF, I endorse. Whether it's coming from Tagwire, I'm standing with Tagwire because it's destroying ED. Not because I know exactly what I want. What I want is ZANU-PF to be destroyed. So when someone like Geza come fighting ZANU-PF, obviously I'm going to endorse him. Why? Because it's going to weaken ZANU-PF. My idea is not for ZANU-PF to be there. My idea is for ZANU-PF to be nullified, totally extinct. We don't want anything to do with ZANU-PF. Never again. But now we are almost getting old. We are almost getting there. We haven't done anything. We are busy pointing each other. Zimbabweans are this. Every Zimbabwean that comes on the space is saying Zimbabweans are weak. Zimbabweans are not ready to fight Zimbabweans. But you are a Zimbabwean. Of course, some of them, they sugarcoat their speech and say, oh, including me. That does not take away what you are saying. Because what you are saying, even if you say including me, it's not about Zimbabwean as individuals. It's about Zimbabwean as leadership. We need a leader. Today, Uncle Jed, I tell you, if we find a leader like the Job Scholar of 2002, I was there in St. Mary's, I live close to his house. If we found a leader like Job Scholar in 2002, today, in 1 week, I tell you, Mnangagwa will be gone. Mnangagwa will be gone. But the problem is we don't have a leader to heed our call. You know? This is exactly what I always want people to know. It's not like Zimbabweans are weak to do what is happening in Kenya right now. We can do more than that. But who is leading us? In 2018, you saw what happened. The vote was stolen. People were ready to defend the vote. Then what happened? Our leader comes, they say they are very stupid. Why were they going in the street? So that alone, you know, at the end of the day, you sit down, you look back and say, okay, if my leader calls me stupid for fighting, why must I go in the street? Better I fight for my kids. Better I go to UK. Better I go to South Africa. Better I focus on this, you know. But if we have a leader who say, okay, guys, do what we can do to bring change, then we are good. We will go all the way out and fight until the end. Thank you very much, my brother.
I appreciate it.